My name is Douglas Viegas, and I am from São Paulo, Brazil, channel Nunca, Mexa. It is awesome to see everybody here, guys. So
Hey,
very
you, man.
excited to be here. Nice to meet you guys.
how do you say hi in Portuguese?
Oi,
Oi. Oh, okay.
oi. But
Oi.
you got English, Devon. You're fine anywhere. You're fine anywhere. Come on. Guys, it is such an honor to be here because I'm a former professional basketball player. And my job here in Brazil is actually like a mission of life to promote the game and get people in Brazil to understand how beautiful this game is and how it can change lives. So I'm very excited to be here. And I want to start with Devon. You played Norm Nixon.
Yes, sir.
And we don't know very much about him down here. And what was his role on the Lakers team, like as a teammate, not only on the basketball court, but I mean, every basketball team has a guy that probably glues things together, that he knows, doesn't let the stuff explode, hold it down. What was Norm Nixon like?
He held it down, man. He was an orchestrator. I like to compare my dad, to I would say Kawhi Leonard, in the way that Kawhi Leonard is not a trash talker, right? He'll give you a silent 30 and you won't even know. You'll look up and my dad will have 20 and 10, So he was a distributor and, he was a facilitator, and he was a hell of a basketball player, probably one of the fastest point guards in the league at that time. And then when Magic came in, they were probably the fastest backcourt in the league at that time. And cool guy, similar to Kareem, very knowledgeable, loved music, loved jazz, loved film. He was always seeking knowledge, always watching tape, always studying the game. He came from humble beginnings. So, he kind of had that, he had that drive, he had that fire in him to make it. And, through the series, I think that you'll see, Norm and Magic's relationship is more of a big brother thing, in the beginning we're pitted against each other, but, throughout the story, our character arc ends with us, having a good relationship and figuring out how to work together. And of course, my father might've been a little apprehensive about somebody threatening his position, but he always knew what he was going to do. He always knew what he was good at. So it was more about, how are we going to work together? How are we going to get the W? And he was very competitive, and I see myself a lot in that. Those are some of my qualities. I'm a very competitive person. I don't care if I'm playing a 6-year-old at basketball. If you want to play me, I'm backing you.
You're taking it.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I don't like to lose.
Devon, it is awesome. It is awesome to know that you're your father, and it's such an honor to be talking to you. Wish you nothing but the best. And this is our job, to let people in Brazil know that your father was a bad man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very nice. Mr. Jason Clarke, what
Douglas,
a pleasure to be talking to you.
Thank you, man.
That is awesome. Awesome. And you played Jerry West.
I do.
The NBA symbol. And what was Jerry West like at this time with the Lakers? We all know what he is now as the brilliant mind, but what was he doing with the Lakers? Like, could you tell us more about it, please? Because
I'd love to, Douglas. Fan. I want to say, I love what you said at the very beginning about basketball saves lives.
It does. I'm a pure example of that.
And for Jerry, it definitely saved his life. When he grew up in West Virginia and lost his brother and his relationship with his father, and where he was headed in life without basketball. And I see you got the ball there, but I love seeing there was tape at the beginning. I saw an ESPN show where they threw the ball to all these players, and they all caught it and just felt that ball and held that ball, and you could see it was like, just express what it is this ball is for you. And the ball is everything for them. It's everything for them in some kind of way, and they all held it and played with it differently. At this particular time for Jerry West, though, it was eating him up. It was getting in the way of his ability to exist, or to actually be, to find some happiness with himself, to keep going past the fact of you know, getting the W or getting the L. You know, he'd had a lot of wins, but the L's that he had were really destroyed him against Bill Russell and the Celtics, and then finally winning it, you know, and not having Elgin Baylor there to celebrate it with him, I think, you know, twisted that one ring, you know, in a weird place as well. So we find Jerry not able to coach anymore. You know, his relationship with Norm was a fascinating one, because he treated Norm badly, and he admits it in his biography, you know, where he was very hard on Norm because as a point guard, as you know, as a backcourt player, he was frustrated that he couldn't be doing it anymore, that Norm wasn't doing what he wanted to do, or, you know, they weren't getting the win, or that he couldn't give it across in the way that he needed to. And so you find Jerry transitioning, finding a way, struggling to know how he loves that ball, to keep using that metaphor. And eventually he finds a different way to hold and to love that ball as a GM and as a reader and a studier of the game, you know, right up to, you know, to now. And he's gone on and he's still involved in it, you know, late into his 70s. And so I love what you said, Douglas. It saves lives. Bravo.
It does. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you,
Solomon. Guys, I appreciate it. I gotta go. I would be here talking to you guys forever.
Come on, a couple of minutes. Talk to Solomon quickly.
I truly appreciate the time to be involved with such outstanding people.
Ask Solomon the question. We'll go longer. Come on.
Oh, thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Solomon, you played Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the greatest scorer of all time. So, but he was a very different guy. Right. So what was it like for you to get to know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his greatness?
I grew up.
Tell us a little bit about him, please.
Sure. So I grew up a fan of Kareem's. I lived just outside of LA. And so the Lakers were really the center of the sports world for me. And he was the center of that team. And so his varied interests, right, as a writer, as a social critic, as a social justice advocate, you know, these were all things that really like made him even that much bigger of a figure, of a public figure. And, you know, just thinking about like the very brave stances he took at a very young age to speak up for human rights. You know, he's absolutely a legend, obviously on the court and off the court as well. And so really just immersing myself in the things that he's written, into the eras that he existed in, right? The 60s, the 70s, obviously up until now. And so just, I was really fascinated with just the environment he grew in. The fact that, you know, it's like, there's so many incredible facts about him. He grew up in Harlem, right? His father was a Juilliard trained musician, right? He hung out with Thelonious Monk. So really trying to just consume as much content as I could. And we're fortunate because we have YouTube, so we can look at old interviews, we can look at footage of him playing. So there's just so much there. And as you pointed out, he's just such a legend in so many ways.
Guys, I can't thank you guys enough. God bless you guys. Have an outstanding life, an outstanding career. And we appreciate the series that you guys have done, the work that you've done, because that's what we use down here. So people understand the beauty of this game. The sport saves lives. Basketball is amazing. And you guys got one more huge fan here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Douglas.
Thanks for your time. That was awesome.
Thank you very much, Douglas.
Thank you.